Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Snip, tuck, fold, crease, tuck, tape.
It's not that complicated, Dad.
Wrap, crease, tape, twist, tape.
Ohio Lottery scratch offs make great holiday gifts. And play Holiday Bonus Millions with a 200 times multiplier and a $2 million top prize.
Fold, crinkle, crinkle, roll.
Plus, you can enter non-winning tickets in My Lotto Rewards for a second chance to win up to 1,000 times the price of your ticket.
Please crinkle, gate, fold, ring and curl, scrunch.
The best part, Dad? No wrapping required.
No tuck, fold?
No tuck, fold.
Give the gift of fun. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC and your daily reminder that the Reds are top of the league. This weekend, real football returns and Liverpool travel to the south coast to take on Southampton, who currently sit bottom of the league with 4 points from 11 games. Now, they've gotten some bad news ahead of this game. Jan Bednarek has picked up an injury. He's played every game for them this season, and he is ruled out and will not play. And Aaron Ramsdale looks like he will also miss out. Ramsdale, of course, bought from Arsenal in the summer for £25 million. He is going to miss out. He's got a broken finger. So, no Ramsdale, no Bednarek. But rather than talk about their absentees, I thought it would just be fun to poke a bit of fun at Aaron Ramsdale, who, played for Arsenal, thus making him an unlikable sort. Did you know that Aaron Ramsdale in his career has been relegated 3 times and is careening towards a 4th relegation? So Ramsdale came through the academy at Sheffield United, went on loan to Works Uptown, and without ever really establishing himself at Sheffield United, I think he played once or twice in cups, he was sold on to Bournemouth. Didn't establish himself at Bournemouth initially because he was a young goalkeeper. This is normal. So he was loaned out, first to Chesterfield. And at Chesterfield, he was relegated. Then he had a loan at AFC Wimbledon. And to his credit, he was vital in keeping them up and saving them from a relegation. Went back to Bournemouth and got himself relegated again. So now we're at 2. Then he went to Sheffield United and got himself relegated. So that's 3. Obviously did not get relegated at Arsenal. Maybe if he'd stayed longer, he might have helped them on that march to destiny, maybe. But instead he's joined Southampton, and he looks a certainty to get relegated this year. So that would be 4 relegations for Aaron Ramsdale, 3 from the Premier League. He'll turn 27 at the end of this season on the 14th of May. So plenty of time for more relegations. But the 3 he has already puts him in a pretty unique club. And there are others that he can track down. And with 4, he'll go into even rarer clubs. So the players that have been relegated 3 times, David Weatherall was relegated with Bradford City on 3 occasions. Once from the Premier League, once from the Championship, and once from League One. Paul Doherty was relegated 3 times with Wolves, and fantastically, they were in 3 successive seasons, which is quite the achievement in incompetence. Not for Paul Doherty, not his fault, but for the club as a whole to go from, one division to a next division to a next division to a next division in 3 successive years. It is quite the thing. Paul Garner and Tony Kenworthy, they were also relegated 3 different times with one club. Sheffield United were the club responsible for both of them having the joy of 3 successive relegations. Oh, it wasn't 3 successive, but it was over like a 7-year period. They got 3 relegations. And then we move on to more modern players. Remember, United had the De Silva twins, Rafael and Fabio? Well, Fabio was relegated. He was sold to Cardiff. They got relegated. And he moved to Middlesbrough, and they got relegated. So congrats to him on that. Roger Johnson, you'll remember from playing with Birmingham and Wolves, he was relegated 4 different times with 3 different clubs. Ramsdale would join him and 1 or 2 others on 4 relegations with relegation this time, though it would be 4 with 4 different clubs, which is an even greater achievement, I feel. Rob Green, he was relegated 4 times with Norwich, with West Ham, and twice with Crystal Palace. All of them were from the Premier League. Roger Johnson had 3 from the Premier League and 1 from the Championship into League One. Ramsdale will have 3 from the Premier League and 1 from League One into League Two. Oh no, League Two into the National League, I think. Curtis Davis, 4 relegations with 3 clubs. Relegated with West Brom, relegated with Birmingham, and then twice relegated with Hull, all from the Premier League. So he's the first to have 4 relegations. Oh, sorry, him and Rob Green are the first ones to have 4 relegations from the Premier League. Marcus Bent, remember him from many years ago? Played for 16 clubs in his career and was relegated with 4 of them. Twice with Crystal Palace. Once with Crystal Palace, once with Ipswich, once with Leicester, and once with Charlton. The twice comes into it in a second. But 4 relegations with 4 clubs is a tremendous achievement that Aaron Ramsdale will look to match. 4 relegations from the Premier League, that is. Ramsdale will look to match that in the future while securing his 5th career relegation. Nathan Blake, he had 5 relegations. Sheffield United, twice with Bolton, once with Blackburn, and once with Wolves. 5 relegations is a hell of an achievement. And the king of relegations then, also 5, but this time with 5 different clubs, is Herman Hreiderson. Now, he was with Marcus Bent for 2 relegations, 1 at Crystal Palace, 1 at Ipswich. He was also relegated with Portsmouth. He was relegated with Wimbledon, and he was relegated with Charlton. Now, Herman Hreiderson was a good centre-back, but he may well have been cursed. To be involved in 5 relegations is a hell of an achievement. Consider, he only played for 7 English clubs, and one of them he barely played for, Coventry City, played about 3 or 4 games. The only club he played a real amount of games for and didn't get relegated with in England was Brentford, and he was only there for 1 year. So congrats to him. A year at Palace took them down, went to Brentford for a year, moved on to Wimbledon for a year, took them down, moved on to Ipswich, 3 years there, and down they went. Moved to Charlton, 4 years there, and down they went. and then went to Pompey, spent 5 years with the Pomp, and got relegated. Then he played for Coventry, and then he went back to play in Iceland with IBV, the team he'd begun his career with. He finished then off with Filter, but I'm not sure he ever played for them. Fair to say that if he played for Iceland in the Nations League, he probably would have achieved a relegation there too. So Aaron Ramsdale at 26, soon to be 27, well, not soon, it's, not to age the fella, he's got 6 months left. Approaching 4 career relegations, we don't have anybody with more than 5. Given Ramsdale as a goalkeeper, fair to estimate another 10 years in his career? Definitely a chance. Definitely a chance he becomes the first man with 6. Definitely a chance. And what a record that would be. That doesn't seem like something that would get broken anytime soon. And it would be magnificent if it was with 6 different clubs. So, note to all, if you're a team that feels like you might end up battling relegation and you need a goalkeeper, don't sign Aaron Ramsdale, because he will bring you down. His manager, Russell Martin, has said that 2 of our best players are out against Liverpool. And he is referring to Ramsdale and Bednarek. If they're 2 of your best players, you can understand why you're probably going down. There is a very interesting piece on This Is Anfield. Liverpool signed 14-year-old for $2 million, but heartbreaking injury ended dream. And this is a piece about Shea Ojo, who we signed from NK Dons, was outrageously talented, like genuinely outrageously talented. I always felt he should have been just developed as a pure left winger to use his pace and power on the outside. His crossing ability was very, very good at a young age. He was so quick, so strong. Didn't need the fancy tricks, could just knock it past fellas and go. I always felt like if we developed him as a pure left winger, he could have maybe worked out for us. I think we tried him in a bunch of different positions, injuries and whatever else. There was some stories in the Echo over the years that, his aptitude wasn't the best and his application wasn't the best, but he was an outrageous talent. He's still playing. He's playing for Maribor in Slovenia. He's still only 27. Still only 27. He was called up to train with our first team at 15, which tells you how highly regarded. We spent $2 million to bring him in, put him into first team training at 15. Like, he was going to be fast tracked, but injuries and then whatever came after, it just didn't work out. It's a shame, because when we got him, this was a big coup. Everybody was after him, and it lists clubs here that were interested. Chelsea, United, City, Arsenal, Everton, Tottenham, and Fulham. So a lot of the big guns in England. In fact, all of the other big 6. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Ajax, Inter Milan, and Juve.
Time to work on your gift list with Black Friday deals at the Home Depot. Right now, get a select tool from top brands like Ryobi and Milwaukee for free when you buy a select battery kit. Choose from reciprocating saws, multi-tools, sanders, and more. Whether you're stocking up on power for your personal workshop or grabbing the perfect gift for someone else's. Get Black Friday tool deals delivered from the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Sierra, discover joyous deals on great gifts for everyone on your list. Like cozy slippers, ski gear, fishing poles, bikes, large kayaks, even larger canoes. Whew, which might lead to another discovery. Wrapping gifts is the only sport you need to stay fit this season. 'Tis the season to discover great gifts at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
It was back in 2011 that we signed him for $2 million, which back then that was a hell of a lot of money for a 14-year-old. Now it's still a lot of money for a 14-year-old. It obviously just didn't work out. The reasons are the reasons. There's nothing we can do about them now. But like I say, he's still only 27. He had loans from us with Wigan, Wolves, Fulham, Reims, Rangers, Cardiff, where he did really well, Millwall. Then we sold him to Cardiff. He went on loan last season to a club in Belgium and was released at the end of the year. And now he's playing for Maribor in Slovenia. When he was in the England underage setup, like they were rushing him up the age tiers. But he kind of hit a wall at under 19 level. It is a shame. It is a shame. Very, very talented boy. But we just need to be careful and make sure that the next, whether it's young Rio, whether it's Tremaine, whichever one of them, if they hit a wall, that we're very patient with them. You know, you've seen Cade Gordon missed a full year. When we signed Cade, like me and Brundish did a podcast on it because Brundish was so excited about this kid because he was so highly regarded, seen as arguably the best English player in his age bracket. And he missed a full year through injury. He's obviously gone on loan this season. He's at Norwich. And Cade is, after having a good international break, I believe there's a piece that says, no, it's not about him. Why did I think it was about him? I thought I saw his name somewhere. I must have imagined it. But anyway, Cade is on loan with Norwich. So far, he has played 5 games and scored 1 goal, I think. He has been capped by England in the 20s this year. He is now 20. And to be fair, 20 would put him in the same age bracket as Jude. Jude 21. Jude might be 21 now. But either way, Cade is an uber talent. And we need to be careful with him. We need to make sure we develop him right and help him overcome any ups and downs that he may have through injury or whatever else. Tremaine debuted for the next age bracket up for England. That kid looks outrageous. That's his under 19 debut. And Trent Coney-Doherty had a good international break as well, having an assist for Ireland at the under 19 level. He does look a player as well. He really does. He's a lot of fun. Cade did. I knew it because I read this piece. I knew I saw Cade's name somewhere. He started both games for England's under 20s. Didn't score or assist in either, but seems to have played pretty well. Besetic was brought in as a late replacement for the Spanish under 21 squad. Went on to feature in both games. Did play against Tyler Morton, who was starting for England, so fair play. Rio started one and was substituting another for England's under 17s. And Keylor Figueroa started one and came off the bench in the other for the USA under 20s. He's another one that looks an interesting prospect. He's only 18. Strikes the ball very, very sweetly. Yeah, he's another one that's highly thought of. There's a lot of these players coming through our academy right now that you just have to get excited about. And obviously, there's a lot of excitement this week, in particular around Ben Doak, because he's had a great international break with Scotland. His form recently for Borough has really picked up, and that's a really promising sign. It looks like he's starting to figure out the final ball. Because, you know, when he played for our senior team, he had 0 end production. Lots of promising runs and power and speed and dribbling ability. but zero end product. And at times looked like he wasn't really sure which foot he should kick the ball with. But he seems to be figuring things out, so that's promising. Another promising one is young Lewis Kumas, son of Jason, of course. He's on loan at Stoke and seemingly has his own song. So that's promising too. During the international break, we did have many senior players go away. And some of them played a lot of minutes. So Queeving, Ibu, Robbo, Bradley, Dom, Endo, and Luis Diaz played every minute available. Thanks for that, international managers. Curtis Jones played 169 minutes for England, which will be huge for his confidence. Alexis played 154 for Argentina. Tyler played 152 for the England under-21s. Costas with 146 minutes for Greece. Darwin with 135 for Uruguay. Gravenberg 98 minutes for the Dutch. And Cody 92 minutes. Virgil played only 90. João Quanza didn't see the field, which isn't great, but it's the experience he's gaining that's important. Curtis, Gakpo, Robbo, Bradley, and Szoboszlai all scored goals. So, a very positive international break overall. No reports of any injuries. A couple of players came back early, I should say. A couple of players, like the two Dutch boys who aren't Virgil, were only subs in the second game and didn't really overexert themselves when they came on. And obviously Mo didn't have to go anywhere. Egypt were kind enough to leave Mo at home, which, given the form he's in, arrested Mo Salah. If I was Southampton, I would probably be very scared at the idea of arrested Mo Salah. What else do we have here? Harvey Elliott and Jayden Dans make return to full training. Federico Chiesa not yet back in full training. Ali is, Jota is not. Trent is not yet either. Cost of Anfield Road expansion revealed. The cost of the expansion has been revealed on a day that has seen several key Liverpool injury updates emerge. So, Alex Miller writing on Blue Sky. Get yourself over to Blue Sky. For those of you who are interested, the final cost of building the Anfield Road end came in at circa 100 million. The extra 20 million or so in additional costs were covered by insurance. This is obviously when the Buckingham Group went into administration and threatened to throw the whole thing up in the air. But thankfully, the insurance kicked in. The club were quick to act and get a new contractor in. And it all looks very nice. So Ali's back in training. Harvey and Jayden Dans are also back in training. No Chiesa yet. Bednarak is out at the weekend. Jimbo Pierce is just making things up as he goes along. Molly's not a fan of Jimbo. Not a fan at all. Alexis McAllister was on the end of a nasty-looking tackle for Argentina, subbed off soon after, but hopefully it's nothing to be concerned about. Alexis seems to have elastic ankles, so these things don't tend to bother him. And obviously then, that is the latest there. Anything else we should take a look at? There is a good piece on Ben Doak on This Is Anfield. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. If I didn't, go check it out. Also read that piece about Lewis Kumas. Read the piece about Virgil and his relationship with the Dutch national team, the Dutch press, probably more pointedly. There's a piece with a little bit of bad news, which is that, well, it's good news in a way, bad news in some ways. Callum Scanlon has a back injury, and thus his loan spell at Millwall has been paused. But it does look like he's starting to make progress towards getting back on the pitch for training, stepping up his work in the gym. Millwall were quite excited to get him. He's a very, very talented young left back. And we know we need a starting left back. Everybody, I think, is aware of that by now. Robbo has declined. Costas is just not good enough to be starting for a team that wants to win the league. We could probably carry him this year because of how well Virgil and Ibu are playing. But ideally, you would want a better left back in the team. We know we've got a great right back and a great goalkeeper too, which also helps with the fact that our left backs, the two starters, I suppose, because they rotate. They're both average at this point. But behind them, in the pipeline, we've got some real promise there. I don't think Owen Beck is going to make the grade at Liverpool. I don't think that's controversial to say. I think he's a good player. He's been pretty good for Blackburn. This year, he's actually kept Harry Pickering out of the team. He's a good player himself. He's now injured. So Pickering will come back in and make it hard for Beck to get back in. But I do think Owen Beck is showing he could be a really good championship player right now. So that's promising, but obviously it's well below what we're looking for. But the other two, I think Scanlon's probably the most talented of them. But Luke Chambers looks a player. Really does look a player. And he's more of almost a centre-back profile of left-back. And I think if we went with Hincapié, say, as the starter, and that's the type of left-back we want, Chambers is the backup. Maybe not next year, but the year after. Like, maybe Robbo goes this summer, Hincapié comes in, Costas is the backup for the year, then Costas goes while Chambers is on loan at a championship club. And then Chambers becomes number 2. Maybe that works well. And if we go with a more attack-minded one, like a Kirkes, then maybe Scanlon makes a bit more sense. You know? Just from a profile point of view. And again, the same type of timeline. But it's really nice to have two very promising young left-backs coming through the academy. One we likely keep and one hopefully we sell on for decent money. AnfieldIndex.com. There is a preview of the Southampton game. There is a piece about Curtis Jones. There's a piece about Murillo, piece about Trent, and a piece about Arne Slot. So do check that out. And then podcast-wise, there is the Under Pressure show, which if you haven't listened to it yet, make sure you listen to that. There is the return of another podcast. So I've dusted off the brand and brought it back in the spirit of Blue Sky, which feels like peak Twitter, early Twitter. I thought it would be just a bit of fun, given we failed to deliver the transfer committee pod this week. I thought it would be a bit of fun to go back and relive some of the transfer windows from the peak Twitter era. So it's just me. It's about an hour. Go and give that a listen if you don't mind. There's the latest David Lynch podcast, and there is a new Scouted that we've recorded today. It is myself and Carl obviously taking a look ahead to Southampton and largely focusing on their woes. I believe there will be a rival recon coming this week, which everybody should look forward to. And what else have we got coming up? This group chat that I'm in it was Eddie's birthday. Make sure you say hello, happy birthday to Eddie. So all the messages about what podcasts are coming up are pushed well back. Yeah, there is a rival recon. I think that's coming today. There'll be a Scout of Tommy's as well. There's going to be a Moby on the spot. And tomorrow there will obviously be the press conference pod with Dave Davis. So there you go. Lots and lots of content. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.